worlds conspired before my eyes. I'm living in slow motion. I'm like a broken vase. You pick up the piece and try to fix it, but you know it will never be the same old vase. It will show hints of glue. It was once broken. I realise this isn't the life I was supposed to be living.
I think it's really important that every child is able to talk to someone if they're going through difficulties, and Childline offers them the opportunity to do that. Working as a volunteer coordinator, I work with a great bunch of people who will give up their time generously, their free time, so that they can come in and take calls from children who are in distress or just need to talk something through. So it's a great place to work.
If a child is being abused violently, I imagine there's going to be lots of issues with their communication and the ways that they communicate. For example, if you have been physically abused, you are going to perhaps expect other people to do that to you if that has become the norm.
I think it's really important to help children because sometimes there's nobody else that they can talk to, or they might not have anybody in their lives that is there to listen to them or to support them. Children sometimes don't always know the difference between right and wrong. They don't know what they should, what is acceptable in their lives and what's not. So to have somebody to be able to tell them that something is wrong, or that they're right for doing something, is very important to them.
Just take it.
When children or teenagers or even adults have been sexually abused, there's a great feeling of shame often around them, and this feeling of shame can prevent them from wanting to share their experiences. Sometimes they don't know how people will react to them sharing their news as well, so if you disclose them to somebody, you might not get the reaction that you want. It's a very taboo subject still, and people may be very concerned that they don't get the response that they want.
Sometimes I guess it's just really when you speak to a child who does sound quite desperate and in a really difficult situation, and sometimes it can be that actually there's not a lot of help necessarily that can be given for that child, other than actually to listen to them and to help and support them that way emotionally, rather than necessarily being able to change the circumstances. Is helping them to think about it differently and sort of feel differently about it.
I think when children are talking to somebody about a difficulty or a problem they've got, the person they choose will depend on the nature of the difficulty, really. So sometimes children perhaps find it easy to talk to a professional, somebody they're less familiar with to begin with, because the problem may be something that makes them feel embarrassed or makes them feel shame. In other occasions it might be that they find it more easy to talk to somebody that's very familiar and somebody at home. Again, it would depend on the nature of the difficulty, really, and the extent of the difficulty and where the actual problem is occurring. We know that bullying can have a detrimental effect on self-esteem. I suppose it really depends on the context that it's in. So if you have a child who had particularly very good self-esteem and then they were bullied, particularly in a minor way, then perhaps this wouldn't affect them too greatly. However, if a child has got particularly bad self-esteem and perhaps a history of abuse, then bullying would affect them in a greater way, I would imagine.
Oh, loads of love hearts. Come on.
If anybody that I knew was interested in joining or volunteering for Childline, I think I'd tell them that we do volunteer information evenings about once a month, and they're really good. It's a really good opportunity to find out more about the charity, about what we do and what sort of skills you need to be able to volunteer. And I would strongly sort of recommend that people just came along to that. Because I really, really enjoy helping out, and I would like other people to sort of understand what it's like and consider helping out as well.
Children don't often know which is the best place to turn, and they don't always know what the reaction of somebody will be, even somebody in a trusted position. I guess an organisation like Childline or a similar organisation, they would expect a certain reaction. They know that if they say something, somebody is going to listen to them and they will hopefully get the response and the action that's required.
Childline believes that every child has the right to be safe and the right to be heard, which is why we want to be available 24 hours a day for any child or young person that tries to contact us. And that's why we need more volunteers, so that we can answer every call and contact from a young person when they need to talk.
Was I wrong? Is there light at the end of the tunnel? I begin to understand the meaning of hope.
If someone's interested in volunteering for Childline, they can go to the NSPCC website, which is www.nspcc.org.uk, and they can see the details of all our volunteering opportunities there.
I can speak because you are listening.